Hi everyone and welcome back. Unfortunately, I have been having some issues with my camera's memory card, and as a result, the beginning footage of this video has been lost. So I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what I was talking about, so you know what's going on. I went down to my parents to have my colorimetry test. That's the test that determines the colour my glasses need to be. My colour has been wrong for about a year and a half now, so this test is really overdue. My wheelchair is currently being repaired, so I have been lent a Pride Igo by the lovely people at Easy Living Mobility. So this vlog is going to be a combination of things, all about my colorimetry test and also testing out the Pride Igo down at my parents'. So I hope you enjoy.
Primark to me back home involves a train and a bus journey. So I thought while I'm with my parents it's easier for me to get into town from where they live. And because I've got the Igo, I can go out. I want to test that out a bit more. I'm also going to go to TK Maxx because TK Maxx is within the same little shopping centre. It's a small shopping centre. To manage my energy levels, I'm going to do those two things and I'm not going to plan doing anything else. My sister is coming round this evening with my niece. I'm not sure if we're going to go out for a picnic or if we're going to have some food here. So I need some energy for that. I'd normally make plans to see people, to see friends and family while I'm down. But because of my colorimetry and the sight test, and also my energy levels are quite low because the heat has completely drained me. It's set my pots off quite badly and I'm still sort of recovering from that. So we've only made plans with people that are easy to change and easy to sort of, they won't mind if we change it, and we're doing it sort of last minute. I want to show you a couple of things just before we go.
How sweet is my mum? When I went to uni, my wrists were the worst they've ever been. I couldn't hold my oboe, and when I was home working on my dissertation, I couldn't open these drawers, so I couldn't get cutlery out. So ever since, my mum has left the drawer open when I come down to stay, so that I can just get in and take the things I need without having to actually open the drawer, because she knows I'm going to hurt myself doing so.
I made a totally rookie move and left my drink at home, so I've had to already give up on my plan of only doing Primark and New Look, come into Boots to get a drink, and look what I have found. I've been to Primark and they had some nice things, but nothing quite fit right or was kind of my style. I had to cut my trip halfway kind of through and head to the toilets, so I went to Devon's and I needed to get the lift to the restaurant floor, and a woman with her buggy wouldn't move to let me in even though there was enough room, and actually it's really annoyed me. She only had to move a little bit. I was desperate for the toilets, and she couldn't be bothered. I was the inconvenience. It's made me feel really rubbish actually. I popped into TK Maxx very quickly. I'm not feeling, I don't know, I'm not in the mood now. But I wanted to show you the view at the end of Southend High Street because it's gorgeous. So I'm left in a bit of a funny mood. I'm going to head up the high street, and if anywhere kind of catches my eye and I think, oh, they'll be worth checking for swimwear, I'll go in, and if not, I'll get the bus from the top of the high street instead of the bottom. It's always really odd going into this H&M because I used to work here when it was Woolworths. So it's a completely different layout, but I still feel like some sentimentality because it'll always be Woolworths to me. They made it up to the bus stop. I should just say that I wasn't just annoyed at the lift incident. When I got on the bus driver told me that I was really lucky because a lady moved her pushchair for me. I'm just like, no, it's not lucky. It's people being decent and doing the right thing. But so often they don't. But the bus driver's attitude was, it's lucky. It felt like you're an afterthought. You can come on this bus if people are willing to move for you. That didn't help. But I should also just say, the lady in Primark was absolutely lovely. She reserved the fitting room for me, so I needed to go and get some other sizes to try on, and she closed off the curtain to the cubicle so that no one else went in there when they didn't need to, so that I could go straight back in, which was really, really lovely. But she was so sweet, so friendly, just genuinely thoughtful, which was really nice. Just got back. The bus driver was lovely. There were no issues with physical access, but I had one lady who, she started off by complimenting my driving skills because it was difficult to get into the wheelchair spot. And then she asked me what I'd done. I hate that question because it implies that my needing a wheelchair is my fault. But I also just don't like being asked because it's rude. I don't mind talking about my Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I'm more than happy to educate people, to discuss it with them. But when you don't know my name and the first thing you ask me about myself is why I need a wheelchair, you're just being nosy. You're not asking about me as a person. You're asking because you want to satisfy your curiosity. But because we'd had a slight conversation beforehand, I said, oh, nothing, I've got a genetic condition. And her response was, oh, like, I don't need your pity. Don't pity me. I am happy. I just get around a bit differently to everyone else. Seriously. Pity is one of my least favourite things, and it didn't upset me, it really annoyed me. I don't know why people think that that's okay. It's not. But on a more positive note, the iGo did a really good job.
One.
Good morning. It is 9 o'clock on the day of my colorimetry test. The colorimetry is at 11. The journey should take me about an hour, but because of potential access issues on the bus, so if there's another wheelchair user on the bus already, I won't be able to get on. And if there are parents who refuse to fold up their prams, I won't be able to get on. And if there are other people sitting in the seat that I need to get into and won't move, I won't be able to get on. So there are 3 buses an hour, so I'm hoping that giving myself an extra hour means I'll be able to get on at least one of those buses. Fingers crossed, and if not, I'm going to phone the opticians and just kind of let them know that I'm having issues, but hopefully we should be able to get on the bus. Bad news, I've just checked the timetable and they've changed it from 20 minutes to 30 minutes, so there are 2 buses an hour, so I'm just crossing my fingers I can get on the first one, otherwise I'm going to be cutting it a bit fine to get to my appointment. I made it, and with 20 minutes to spare, so actually the journey only took 40 minutes on the bus, which is good, so I'm going to head in now and have a look at some glasses frames before my appointment. So there's a hair and beauty supply store that I normally come into when I get my glasses tested, but there's a step access, so that's not going to happen today. I'm back. I didn't have a great journey home. Bus driver was lovely, but someone wanted to get on with a mobility scooter, and the bus driver said, I'm really sorry, I've got a wheelchair user on at the moment, there's no room. He was very polite about it, and the guy on the mobility scooter got really quite cross, and he actually suggested that I should fold my chair down so that he can get on. And I've heard like parents argue that before, but I've never heard a disabled person themselves say that another disabled person should get out of their wheelchair and fold their wheelchair up. And I was really quite surprised, because it's not safe for everyone to do so. Not everyone can transfer themselves, and I was really quite shocked. And obviously I couldn't fold the power chair. It is a folding power chair, but it isn't safe to fold it and store it. It wouldn't have been safe for me to get out on the bus either. There's a lot of risks involved in that. And actually the bus driver said, I'm sorry, the lady's in a power chair, it can't be folded. But even if I was in my active user chair, that's a fixed frame, so you can't fold it. The wheels can be taken off, the backrest can be flipped down, but it doesn't go sideways, so it would have to sit on a seat. And regardless of that, it's not actually safe for me to get out of my chair on a bus anyway. So that was just something that really kind of surprised me. I'd never expect a disabled person to make an assumption about another disabled person and their abilities and what their equipment is like and what they can do with it. I'm absolutely shattered now after the colorimetry test. Nicole's lovely. I go to Williams optometrist in Benfleet. I've been to, I think, 4 other places and they've all made me ill, but Williams look after me so well. They stick to the area of the colour spectrum that I'm safe on and that I have the least problems with, and I'm just allowed to kind of do it myself. I have a wheelchair update. I've phoned wheelchair services because my chair went away 4 weeks ago today, and unfortunately they haven't heard anything. So they haven't had a notification that the wheelchair is back with the registered suppliers. So it is still away being fixed. I'm hoping it will be done soon. They're going to try and keep me posted, but I'm also going to phone back next week. I think now, because I'm so tired, I'm going to try and have a little nap because I really need it. I want to say good morning, but I can't because it's 2:30 and I'm only just up and dressed. I didn't have a great night last night. I woke up in the early hours of the morning needing the toilet and almost passed out because of the way the colorimetry affects my head. I'm feeling quite groggy, exhausted, my head's very muddly, so I'm having a really slow day today. We're going to try and go out for a meal with my nana tonight, so I'm just going to sit and relax as much as I can until then. I might try and put makeup on. I want to put makeup on, I don't feel I have the energy to put makeup on, but I always feel better in myself when I put makeup on. And I also find that people kind of respond to me better when I'm using my wheelchair and I've got makeup on compared to when I don't have makeup on. And the way people respond to you can have a massive impact in how you feel in yourself and about yourself. I have had some good news though. I received a call from someone to do with wheelchair services and the repair side of things. They have received my wheelchair back. They offered to drop it off to me on Friday and pick up the chair they've loaned me that I can't use, but I won't go into that. But I'm not going to be at home, and actually, because of the way I was given my chair back last time, firstly not completely fixed, and secondly one of the brakes hadn't been put back properly, so it didn't actually work. It didn't make enough contact with the wheel to actually stop the wheel from moving. I've requested that I have an appointment with my wheelchair therapist so that we can check it over and make sure we're both happy with it, and that's her preferred method of getting the chair back to me as well. So hopefully it won't be too long until I can have that appointment, and hopefully they have actually fixed it this time properly. If not, at least Charlotte and I can make a plan as to what we're going to do straight away. I've just had a call from wheelchair services and burst into tears. There are no appointments with my wheelchair therapist for July. They can offer me an appointment with the wheelchair technician who was, give him his dues, he was really good last time, but the time before he made a lot of assumptions and didn't ask me questions, and he fobbed me off. 21st of July, an appointment with him. It is currently, what day is it? It's currently the 28th of June. So wheelchair services have lent me a chair that is dangerous for me to use. It's too heavy. I've already dislocated my shoulder and pulled a muscle using it. I can't push myself, I can't use it safely. And I'm expected to go another 3 weeks in this situation without my chair back. Or I get them to deliver it and it doesn't get checked before it's delivered. So I could end up with brakes that aren't going to work properly, which is what happened last time. And it might not still be fixed. I can't. I know they're busy. I know they've got lots of appointments. I know they're all booked up. I get that. But they've left me with a dangerous piece of equipment. And they're expecting me to wait another 3 weeks with a dangerous piece of equipment. And the Pride Eye Go has been great for the short term, but I can't use it long term. Firstly, because it's not mine. I need my chair back. I didn't need that today. I didn't need it any time. And the frustrating thing is, if my wheelchair had been fixed properly the first time, it wouldn't have had to go away. I wouldn't have been a month without it, and I wouldn't be in the position where I'm trying to make the decision whether to wait an extra 3 weeks or have it sent back to me in whatever state it is, and then I have to deal with it, and I have to phone them up again if it's wrong, and I have to check the brakes are working, and potentially roll into a car park again, because that was what happened last time. That's how I found out the brakes weren't working. I'm so frustrated right now. I'm so frustrated right now. I have popped some makeup on. I got into a I can't be bothered, I don't want to do this. But actually, I don't want to ruin a nice evening with my nana, who I don't get to see very often because of the wheelchair situation. So I put some makeup on to kind of calm myself down, to sort of almost kickstart myself into feeling better, happier, like I can deal with the situation. And unfortunately then I've gone and spilt drink on my laptop and it's messed up the trackpad. I'm hoping that if I leave it, it will sort itself out. Not a good day today. Dad's just been pinching my chips.
Macaroni and then I don't buy it, but I mean, 2 Jills, do you know? Mark got to, he has got to,
Right, eye test is done. It's too bright. I haven't filmed anything yet because I've not been feeling particularly great today. It's too bright. My eyes have had bright lights. I was very early because I wasn't sure which bus I would need to be able to get. Eye test was fine. And the optician knew about Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. He knew what it was. And he was surprised when I was surprised that he knew what it was, and he was surprised when I said most A&Es don't know what it is. So that was really nice. I always feel so well looked after there. I'm going to go back to Mum and Dad's, have something to eat, and then see how I feel. I suspect I will take a trip to Tesco just because I need distraction to make my head feel a little less groggy. I think if I sit around trying to relax, it's actually going to make me feel more groggy. So we'll see how we go. So the pavement has been well and truly destroyed by the tree. Let's see how well the Pride Eye Go manages. A bit shaky, but we did it. Moment of truth. Will my laptop switch on?
With Camtasia, you'll be able to make amazing videos without being a professional
Marvellous.
video editor.
I didn't end up going down to Tesco in the end yesterday. I popped the charger for the iGo on and it needed quite a while to charge up, as batteries do. I think I was just being hopeful. And then actually when I thought about it, there's a big dual carriageway to cross, and I'm actually not sure where the crossings are. And there are also a field of horses quite close by, and I'm very, very allergic to horses, so I decided the safest thing to do would be not to go yesterday. Mum's already offered to take me to Mears-Irlen today, as well as Tesco, and she said last night that she needed to get some food, so she was kind of happy to go to Tesco. I don't think she wanted me to try and do the journey on my own anyway. We're not going to be taking the iGo today though, because it's too heavy for my mum to lift. She has a shoulder injury. I'm not sure whether that's partly why it's too heavy for her, but she really struggled when we went out for our meal. Luckily my uncle came with us, and then Dad met us, so my uncle helped us out of the car with the iGo and then put it back in, and then Dad got it out when we got home. So Mears-Irlen and Tesco both have wheelchairs available for people going to shop there, so we're going to make use of those this time round. But I do have good news on my wheelchair. I think I've explained the issues with how I'm going to have to wait ages to actually get a clinic appointment, and even then I'm not going to be seen by the only person who I trust at wheelchair services. So I'm going to have it delivered, and it's going to be arriving on the 4th of July, which is great because it's the day before my birthday. So I may now have a think about doing something during the day, but it's nice. At least I'll have it back in less than a week, which is much more suitable and appropriate. Here comes Mum. Good morning. It is now Saturday. I didn't vlog any of our shopping trip yesterday because the wheelchair, particularly in Mears-Irlen, was unbelievably painful. My back was absolute agony yesterday as a result of using that chair, and it was, even during using the chair, it was just getting worse and worse and worse. And that's why it's so important for me to have my chair back, the chair that is set up specifically for me, for my needs. The backrest is right, the size is right. So while 3 weeks might not seem a long time for a wheelchair, like any wheelchair, it is though, when you can't do very much without it. I really need kind of very specific things from my chair, and in terms of how my chair is set up. So I'm very glad that I'm going to be getting it back on Tuesday. In terms of the Pride iGo, it's been really, really handy this week because I haven't had my chair. I'm going to say now, it's not suitable for me. There are a couple of things like the battery I can't click out myself, and I was worried that the backrest wasn't going to be supportive enough. Now that isn't the case, but the backrest, the angle is slightly too far back for me. So if it were upright, it would give me the support I need, but because it's tilted slightly further back, it doesn't. And there are a couple of other little things that just mean it doesn't fit into my lifestyle, and it doesn't do everything I need a wheelchair to do. However, I do think it's an absolutely fantastic piece of kit. I love that it goes into a car, though at the moment not easily, and I'm really excited to see kind of the development in technology for portable power chairs. There's a massive gap in the market for portable power chairs, and I feel like a customisable option is hopefully not going to be too far into the future. So that's a little overview of my thoughts on the Pride iGo. I am going to have a full review on my blog with lots more information, so make sure you head over to my blog to find out more about my experience with the Pride iGo. And I'm going to include some kind of tips and tricks that I've learnt along the way of having it, because the thing is with wheelchairs, there's no absolute definitive, everything's going to be absolutely perfect. You, more likely than not, always have to make compromises. So to get one thing, you have to
not have another functional aspect of the chair. So it's really helpful to kind of have a few tips and tricks to make the things that might be slightly less suitable for you slightly easier to manage. So I'm going to include that in my post as well. Although I wasn't able to take you along with me, I thought I'd show you what I did actually get from Mears-Irlen. I didn't find anything in Tesco, so I found this really nice tankini top. The kind of ruching covers up my stomach a little bit. My stomach is probably my worst feature of my body at the moment. It just needs a little bit of toning, but that's quite difficult to do. This was £12, which I thought was quite good. I tried on the 10 and it was a little bit small in the cups. I tried on the size 12 and it was massive. So I've gone for the 10 and I've loosened the straps a little bit. I think I can make it work. And then for the bottoms, I found these. These were £5. They've got a little detachable tie detail that I'm going to take off. Unfortunately, they didn't have just the plain black bottoms, which were £3 in my size. So I've opted for these, but that still came to £17, and I wanted to spend under 20 on swimwear, so I'm happy with that. And then I also saw this really beautiful top, and it was £12, so I thought I'd treat myself. And if you're wondering about the bedding, my niece has a bedroom at my parents' house, so she can come for sleepovers easily, and she very kindly lent it to me for my stay. Dan's picking me up today, so I'm going to sign off this vlog here. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye!